Today I want to talk about bias and how biased this channel is. So welcome back everybody and Happy New Year. 2021 was a mixed bag for me, probably for everybody, but there's a lot of things that happened that I'm really grateful for. For example, we hit 2.5 million views this year, which is exciting. That means either maybe 2.5 million people watched one video, or maybe there's just one person named Steven who watched 2.5 million views. Either way, it's really impressive, and I mean that, Steven. The number of subscribers to the channel nearly doubled, and a lot of you provided a lot of educational and entertaining content down in the comments, which I really appreciate. Seriously, 99% of your comments, the things that show up down in the comment section, 99% of that just makes me glad I'm doing this. And a lot of you also supported this channel on Patreon and in other ways like sharing links, sharing the videos, and buying merch. Like this shirt I'm wearing. So however you've helped out, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you for the things that you've done to make this channel possible. This channel couldn't be what it is today without your help. And of course, I'm excited to make 2022 the best year we've had so far. Also, one little update to the channel, I have recently changed how I'm doing merch. I'm working with a company called Merchinate, and that has allowed me to update the options I can make available to you and provide things in different colors and designs. Basically, it just means more options, and so that seems like a good thing. So I'll put a link down in the description, check it out if you're so inclined. So all that said, what is up with this bias issue? Well, today's topic comes from some comments that I've received a lot, and it's something I just wanted to talk about briefly for a while. And that's because every once in a while, somebody in the comment section gets after me for being biased. That is, they usually think that my content is biased, particularly they are concerned often that I'm not spending enough time on Windows content, Windows programming topics. Maybe some of the code that I post doesn't work on all operating systems. Again, that's usually a concern from the Windows side of things, but not always. Occasionally people accuse me of hating things like C++ or other languages, which I definitely do not. And also some of you are concerned that I neglect things like object-oriented programming, or maybe in one of my videos I forgot to mention your favorite function call, feature, or way of doing something. So today I just thought I'd revisit this issue and talk a little bit about bias and this channel particularly, and this channel's bias. So first off, this channel is my hobby. It's something that I do for fun, and it is fun. I've been doing it for a few years now, but it is not my job. And I mean, maybe if 10 times more people watched, maybe it could be, but for now it's not. And that's totally cool. And the content that I put on this channel comes from a few different sources. It often comes from comments and suggestions and requests that you make, but it also comes from the things that I do in my job. It comes from the stuff that I'm messing around with in my research and in my classes, what I'm teaching. I'll be messing around with something and I think to myself, hey, that could be an interesting video. I'll bet that would be useful. And because I'm already playing around with it, it's already in cache, and it just makes it easier for me to put together a tutorial or an explanation, put together some kind of example, because I'm already messing around with it, and so it just makes things quick and much easier. And that is really a good thing because time is always my scarcest resource. And so if I'm able to make more videos more quickly, then that just means more content and means I can be helpful to more of you, hopefully. And so yes, the point is that this channel is biased. It's biased towards my work, my research, the classes I teach, and my experience, both in academia and in industry. And of course, that means you're going to get more embedded stuff, which I know some of you are really into, some of you not so much. It means that if I'm teaching operating systems, you're going to get operating system stuff. And currently, that means a lot of C because that's what I currently use in my operating systems class. If in my class we're working on memory allocators, then you're probably going to see video content on memory allocators, which we have seen a few videos recently on memory allocators, and we'll probably have another one coming up. Been thinking about another one. And if I'm experimenting with cryptography on microcontrollers, then you might see a video about that. Sounds like a foreshadowing for a future video. It definitely is. Which brings me to the Windows complaints, because right now in my work, I currently don't use Windows for pretty much anything. I used to use Windows. I started my career almost exclusively writing code in Windows. It was not a bad experience, but these days in my current projects, I just rarely use Windows. I typically just don't use it ever. And I want to emphasize that even though I occasionally poke fun at Microsoft or give Windows a hard time, it's not a dogmatic thing. I don't hate Windows. I just currently have other options that I happen to prefer. I like them better, and that's working pretty well for now, but that could change in the future. And maybe we could talk about that in a future video about some of the strengths and weaknesses of Windows versus other operating systems, why I like one more than the other. But the point for today is that until I start doing programming in Windows, you're probably probably going to see a bias in the content for this channel, at least a little bit. And I think that's okay. At least I hope it's okay. I mean, every piece of advice you receive from anyone in your whole life is biased. Every opinion you ever hear depends on that person's experience, and it depends on where they've come from and where they're trying to go. And just because something's biased doesn't necessarily mean it's not useful. In fact, understanding the bias, understanding where it comes from, definitely can help you take advice and make it more useful for you, because your situation may be different than mine. So yes, the channel's biased. I hope it's still useful for you, and I'm going to keep doing what I can do to make this channel a helpful one for you as you continue your journey learning to program in 2022. As always, down in the comments, please let me know if there are topics, if there are videos, if there's things that you'd like to see as we head into the new year. I'll definitely see what I can do. But for now, Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week.